I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but Rafe Judkins, the current showrunner for Wheel of Time, just did a Q&A where he answered a whole bunch of questions for people, and there's already the highlights up on Tor.com, and we're going to go through them, talk about them, and boy, was this just an awesome, great thing. It's honestly one of my favorite days to be a Wheel of Time fan right now, because we got some really cool insights, not only in the possibilities of this show, but how this creator views the project as well. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So starting it off, we have, in your view, what is the heart and soul of the TV show, i.e., why will people, non-fans included, want to watch? And Rafe said, to me, the way I've pitched it since I first became involved is that even though the world is incredible, the magic system one of the best in fantasy, and the gender dynamics so fresh feeling, the thing at the heart of this is the character, which was a great response from Rafe, just right away kind of getting on my good side, because for me, character is so crucial in Wheel of Time, and he just knocks it out of the park right away, acknowledging that, as well as hyping up the magic system, the incredible world. He really just hit on all the highlights from the Wheel of Time there, and the fact that he landed on character is a huge plus for me. The next question was, how closely do you anticipate the show to follow the true canon of the books, or are you already planning on creating a parallel canon? Are you considering having any of Team Jordan on as consultants through the process at all? And then Rafe responded, I am telling the story of the books, but as with any adaptation to a different medium, there will be differences. That's true, just some things won't come across right. Some things you really have to change how they're told to the viewer. It's 100% acceptable that changes will be made, and they have to. Otherwise, what will people have to scream about after each episode? Which was a great little add-in there. Considering all the fan questions Jordan, Brandon Sanderson, and hashtag Team Jordan have answered about hashtag Wheel of Time over the years, have you studied that mountain of data not found in the books? If not, what is your strategy to make sure we get all the details right? This is a response from Rafe. I'm in communication with everyone on hashtag Team Jordan, and I will be even more so once we are further down the line. They've lived this and will be invaluable to me. I'm also the kind of writer who values all the data I can get and then let it inform but not necessarily direct my decision making. And I really like hearing that he's in touch with Team Jordan, but he's not necessarily taking what they say as word of God, because no offense to them, but they don't really make TV shows. He needs to be able to draw on his experience plus their input for the final output. What written resources besides the published novels are you utilizing, such as Robert Jordan's archive notes, the Wheel of Time companion, the comic book adaptations? By the way, if you haven't checked out the graphic novels, I highly recommend you do. From Rafe Judkins, everything I can get my hand on. How will you like to handle the prologue of Eye of the World and the prequel scenes from New Spring novel? Rafe Judkins respond, I have plans for both of these, but you'll unfortunately have to wait for the show to see. And then we have a very solid question coming in here. Who do you see in the role of Bela? And Rafe responded, I'm so glad you asked this. I love Bela, and although we're very far away from this, I already want to make sure we have a consistent horses to track her throughout the entire run of the show. So those of you who are big Bela fans, we're going to be getting consistent horses, apparently. I would have never cared about that, but for some reason now I do. Gwaine is a divisive character among fandom, although my fave as a fellow community organizer. What do you think is her defining attributes that you would want to bring out in the show? And then Rafe responded, I'm obsessed with Gwaine. I think of all the characters, she faces some of the most dramatic / impossible choices of the series, and to me, characters you fall in love with are the ones who have to face these choices and come out stronger on the other side. She is going to rock. So he didn't really give any details on how he's writing her there, but he's apparently a very big Gwaine fan. Hashtag not that big an Gwaine fan. Who is your favorite character and why is it Gwaine? Rafe responded, this is my favorite question so far. I know it's lame, but I honestly have too many favorites. Gwaine, Aviendha. Yes, Aviendha. I love seeing Aviendha given some love, and now I'm taking that as confirmation that her role will not be reduced. I'm happy to see that. Aviendha is queen, and Bay. Moving on. Matt, Nynaeve, Perrin, Rand, Tam. Honestly, I believe that when you're writing, you have to be in love with all of the characters, and now that I'm writing, I am. I'm calling BS. You can't love them all, Rafe. You can't love them all. Will Loghain's story be retained in the TV series? And if yes, just interesting how you imagine this character. Rafe responded, I really like Loghain and plan to not only retain, but expand his role in the series. This is the first bombshell we've gotten. Avoiding spoilers. Loghain is a big deal, and in my opinion, he is one of the least utilized characters who has way more potential than he's allowed on the pages, and I'm very excited to see that Rafe cares enough not only to identify this accurately, but is also willing to maybe change the source material to do this character justice. I'm just excited to hear that. Let's move on. How much badassery do you think we can expect from the Mat vs. Gwaine and Gilad fight? Rafe responded, I mean, this question answers itself, doesn't it? And that was the correct response. And this actually next one is the only real issue I had with this whole Q&A. So someone asked, will @BillyZane be reprising his role as a Shemael? And Rafe responded in caps, no. I took a little bit of offense to that. I think BillyZane did fine with the horrible material he was given. It's not the actor's fault. And if Rafe had just said no, that'd be fine. It just seems like no, he's not going to reprise his role. But he did like the all caps no, as in like screw that guy, he did a bad job. And I really disagree with that mentality, and I wouldn't put the blame on BillyZane for what was just a terribly mishandled product. You can't blame one member of the ship when the ship's sinking because the whole thing was built by paper. You know what I mean? So I disagree with you there. Love you, Billy. I'd like to see you come back as a Shemael and be given another shot with an actually decent project to bring that character to its full realization. I got faith in you, bud, but you're never gonna watch this, so it's fine. What would be your dream location to shoot the first season of the show? Rafe responded, the Lofton Isles of Norway. I probably screwed up that pronunciation, but we're moving forward. But only because I just want to live there. I'm sure we'll end up somewhere with more diversive landscape that better capture the breadth of the Wheel of Time world. How do you plan to write around the fact that weaving of the power is so in-depth but can't really be visualized well on screen? Rafe responds, I'm hoping it can be visualized well on screen. And I agree with him here. It's never so complex that you cannot visually see it at all, and actors just need to fill in the gap of what they're experiencing, plus the visualization that's happening. The idea that it just can't be done to me is a little ridiculous. Have you written any Wolf Brother / Wolf communication yet, and how will it be represented? Rafe responds, this will be decided with the consulting of the director, but I think that using images to convey meaning might be very suited for TV. So right there, this is actually something we discussed recently on WoT Talk, and it looks like he's come to the same conclusion that we did with WoT Talk, and that is that really you gotta just kind of cut the scent stuff unless you're gonna do close-up of nostrils, like, but I don't agree with doing that, so let's just go ahead and stick with images, because seeing someone's nose up close frequently is just not that pleasant. Does the idea of SFX impact how you write the series? Do you find yourself hesitating with certain ideas for shots / scenes based on awareness that they'll be really complicated / expensive? As a literal gruesome monster, this concerns me, and this is from #Trolloc Someone stepping on my turf? I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you're cool. Rafe responds, yeah, you have to be considering this at all stages of the process. Making a show is about making the right choices to deliver the best thing to screen, and I'm already considering props versus SFX versus makeup versus VFX for everything. Thoughtful representation. This is my question, actually. What is controversial regarding how it handles gender / sexuality / mental health? My audience at WoT Talk has expressed concern on how these topics will be handled. Would you mind commenting on these concerns / how you plan to approach these topics? And Rafe responded, I think the explorations of these topics is something important, and I'll be using a lot of advisors and writers around me to make sure that we tackle them thoughtfully. So that's very cool, and I enjoy the fact that Rafe is coming through strong with the fact that he's open for outside input when it comes to these things that he may not be entirely familiar with that are represented in the show, like PTSD and depression and things like that. Hi Rafe, what are your thoughts / plans regarding LBGTQ representation in the show? There are some in the books, Pillow Friends and such, and we know how much it matters to be represented in media. Thank you. Rafe responds, I think that gender is such a key theme of the books, and discussing gender without a full representation of LBGTQ+ would be a disservice to that discussion. Rest assured, there will be Pillow Friends Rest assured, there will be pillow friends out the wazoo. So, lots of gays. Cool. Mom, they'll be lesbians, so you're represented. Is at Amazon Studios planning to give the show the same scope and production value as HBO's #Game of Thrones or Westworld, or is this entirely a unique beast? Does Amazon realize the potential of the property? Great question. And Rafe's response is, regardless of budget, I will make sure that we are only executing on screen things that look as good as those shows do. The smaller the budget, the less of those things. But I think it's important that the entire show feel real, grounded, and premium. Now that's interesting because it shows he's planning for both outcomes. Even if he's given a smaller budget, it just means he's going to shrink the series more to try and get that budget to fully encapsulate what Wheel of Time is. And I don't know how to take this as either a very good or a very bad thing. I take it good that he's handling it well, and I enjoy seeing that, but I don't like hearing that it's still a possibility from Amazon that we could be dealing with a show that's on a smaller scale. I think music will be a massive thing for the show. I love Elder Scrolls Oblivion music, but listening to Metallica's song/lyrics, I think that suits too. Any ideas on that front about what music to use yet? And Rafe responds, we're still a ways from music decisions. A lot of that will be director/composer/music supervisor dependent. I like to hire people who are really good at their jobs and take their advice, so I may end up being different than what I think right now. He's open to input, which is actually kind of the running theme of this Q&A now that I'm going over it, and I actually enjoy seeing that. The power of fans. Is there any way for fans to get involved with the show in some fashion? And Rafe responds, and this is the last question, I think being involved online is a great way to contribute to the show. You'd be shocked by how many showrunners/writers/executives, etc. read posts for their show on Reddit, Twitter, AV Club, and more. On post shows. More people would discuss fan reaction the morning after each episode. So guys, this is going to leave me with my message to you. Even if you're not a big social media person, do what you can to make this show buzzed about right now. For the sake of me and every other die-hard Wheel of Time fan, tweet about it, Facebook about it, use hashtags, tweet at Amazon, Facebook at Amazon, Instagram post, anything, because the more buzz they see, I feel like the more they will want to really put into this show, and that's a huge deal right now. So I personally have been doing a lot of things on Twitter and Instagram and social media like that to try and get hype for the show existing, and I feel like the more of us that do it, it may not be doing a whole lot, but it can put a little shove into putting this show in the absolute right direction. And Rafe Judkins seems to be an incredible guy to be leading this up right now. Everything I saw in that entire Q&A, and I read a lot of the questions and responses, just gave me total faith in him. And I don't know if he's watching this, I doubt it, but he seems to have almost all of the fan base behind him. I have not seen one negative reaction to anything he said. And on the subreddit for Wheel of Time right now, r/WoT, there's nothing but his praises being sung. So my only concerns at this point are really with Amazon. That being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below after seeing this Q&A. Are you more excited for the show, less excited? I honestly am just having so much fun getting hype with you all that even if the show's a bust, I'm still glad we kind of went on this little journey together. It's been tons of fun, and I think the next 1.5 to 2 years as we wait for the first pilot episode will continue to be this emotional roller coaster that we go down. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.